Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
With the big, bold flavour of HP sauce, making breakfast legendary.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text the show, go on 8 12 15. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, Jim.
Morning.
Morning, Peter.
Morning, Richie.
So,
Lest we forget.
What about this then? So this is the Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio.
Oh.
A strong beginning. Hold it. A strong beginning to the weekend.
Huh?
A strong beginning to the weekend. Get it?
Oh, yeah.
I get it, but I don't think it's that good.
Oh. Well, it's the opposite, you see. Strong and weak.
Yeah.
Beginning and end.
And also it's got weak, as in week.
Yeah.
And week.
Yeah.
W-E-A.
I really like it, but I
see
think
what
I'd
you've
rather
done.
have read it. You know, like a Chaucerian joke.
I don't know if you could read it, because if you read it, then you've said weekend, whereas
Okay.
we have the ambiguity of the audio version. There you go. Good morning.
Strong beginning, that.
Yeah.
This morning's texting. At what point in the morning does the Edge put on his hat?
Good question.
Do we
Does he
think
sleep in it, Frank?
we might sleep in it? He might get up and thinks, I'll have a wee and then I'll put the hat on. He might put the hat on. It might be at the side. It might be on the what do they call it? The nightstand in America.
They might call it that. Yeah.
Does he think?
Imagine of the Edge waking up saying, "I'll have a wee."
No, yeah, but he's Irish.
I wonder if any of the readers of the show are like family friends and they would know because they've
Or
done
live nearby.
stayovers.
Live nearby and walk past in the morning.
Yeah.
Maybe walk past 11 o'clock. Hasn't got the hat on yet.
Yeah.
Must
What
have had a
is
late
it?
night.
What's it like under the hat?
Well, I don't. There'll be U2 fans who know. I would be astonished to find he's got a head of luxurious hair.
Mm.
He can afford to get that tended to.
I know,
can't
but
he?
it's cheaper to get a hat. We
I
don't
don't
know.
really think it's cost
Here's
based.
a question: how many hats has he got?
That's another good
Has
question.
he got a hat drawer?
He's probably
Has he got a room
hat
of those? You
cupboard.
know those heads that they use for wigs?
Yes.
Has he got a room of those?
Yeah.
And all the faces are fashioned like his.
Yeah, all got beards. But the question, anyway, these are other questions for another time, but at what point in the morning, if anyone's got any inside information, they've read a Q&A with The Edge, he's done an interview in the fanzine, or maybe they're doing a bit of building work around his house.
Fanzine. Spot the Doctor Who fan.
Well,
Fanzine.
I use his gardeners, they'll know.
Oh, you could ask them.
Yeah, I might know.
We've had a text message saying one. I don't know if that's an answer to the question.
One?
One. It just says one. There's no other thing to it. Just one.
1 in the morning?
No, it could be he's only got one hat. I don't know. I
okay.
don't know what they're answering.
He can't only have one hat. What if he lost it at customs? I mean, it must be searched at customs. Are you allowed to just walk through in a hat?
No, I don't think so.
Is it a woolen hat, Frank?
It is. It's a beanie, I think.
Is it a
Yeah.
That's what
beanie?
you'd call it. Sarah Beanie, I call him. Wear a
Confusing,
beanie.
isn't it?
I call him Wear a beanie. Man, that's even better than the strong beginning to the weekend.
Do you know what, Frank? That's growing on me.
Yeah, is it?
I love it
I
now.
think that's probably what's happening with the Edge's hat. Would you clean your teeth in a hat?
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
I have a bad back.
Do you know what? The TV has just had a headline on. You know, they do the headlines on the news, and it said, Operation will cure back pain. And I was just thinking, oh, that'll come in handy. I get back pain. And now
We have the
us.
telly on in the background.
Yeah, just the news.
In silence. It's just I have
case anything
to.
breaks.
If the Queen goes down, I have to announce it. That'll be down to me.
Oh, mine's for Wayne Rooney reasons.
Is it?
Yeah. You know, those footballers always leave the hairdryer and the telly on because they don't like the silence.
Oh, I see. But we do have it on silent though.
Okay. Yeah, but I know it's there, Frank.
Okay. Anyway, radio's better, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you know when people say, well, I've said it. I must have told you once, I was standing in the wings with a young comedian, and I was just going, holding my back, and he said, you got a bad back? I said, I have got, it's killing me. And he said, what happened? And I said, nothing. I just get to an age where they just come. They don't come with an anecdote. This one was a little different. I don't normally talk about what I've done on Room 1. We're recording Room 101 at the moment, which is a popular entertainment show on BBC One.
One of the best.
And I was demonstrating a thing called the Daddy Saddle.
Right.
What's that?
You know when dads... It's just things I sort of associate with America in the 50s. Dads get on all fours, as they say.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the kid rides on their back as if they were a horse.
Never called it the daddy saddle in my life.
No. The daddy saddle is an item which you can wear, which is actually a saddle that enhances the whole experience. Stirrups.
The daddy becomes a sort of horse.
Yeah, the daddy is an equine figure.
Yeah.
So I put that on and invited a female guest. I don't know. I'll tell you, it was Kirsty Walk, who I'd say is 9 stone tops. I'd say, do you want to try it?
Be careful.
What?
Well, just with women.
Okay.
Don't ever guesstimate weights.
Be careful with women is
Whatever
great
with women
advice.
in general.
What I'm saying is she's slender.
Yeah. Oh, she's slender.
So I thought I can take... At which point...
I'm 8 stone 3, by the way.
okay, well, maybe she's lighter than... Anyway,
I do it in kilograms
she
now.
declined.
I'm getting on this.
She declined. Next thing I know, the big cook, Heston Blumenthal...
He never jumped on there.
He bounced onto my back without any warning, took his feet off the ground.
He's a big lad as well.
He's a big unit, as they say.
Well, all of the chefs, they can really go.
He's a big kitchen unit, you could say.
And those glasses are titanium, they weigh a ton.
Well, it was... I'd go as far as say it was a foolish thing to do. And my back is... I mean, I was a bit... on telly you have to keep a bit of a smiley face.
Well, that's it.
So, I mean, it would have served him right if I'd bolted with him on. So it just burst out through the studio.
Through the fire doors and into oncoming traffic.
And then bucked and thrown him.
You should have. I wish you'd Usained.
Yeah, it's made me think, though, it's the last time I bet on a horse race.
Yeah.
I realise it's quite cruel. It's quite a lot to take.
It is quite cruel now you mention it. Yeah.
It is. So I took the saddle home, the daddy saddle, but I've been unable to play with my own child due to my Blumenthal back.
Right.
And I'll show you something else. This will be a good one for the readers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll take a picture.
Oh!
Bang!
Wow, he's...
What's that?
He's covered in little plasters.
Well, they are...
Can I hazard a guess?
Can we explain what it looks like?
Yes, do.
Alan?
I would say it was about 10 or 12 small, almost like the size of a corn plaster, dotted up Frank's back to the left of
Charlie.
spine. Here's my guess. Acupuncture.
Cupping.
They're actually...
Cupping.
They're actually poppers, so I can take my... I don't mean amyl nitrate. I mean...
anything to get you through the show, yeah?
Breast stud, so
It's been down that nightclub fire again.
I can take my kidneys out and clean them. No, they're magnets, and they're supposed to help. I've had 3 sessions of physiotherapy for my Blumenthal back.
Oh, yeah. Is he paying?
Well, I think
not yet.
At the very least, you need some free grub.
Oh, no, it's sticking me throat.
Couldn't eat that.
I've eaten there before, it's beautiful, but now, not after the back thing. And also my son, that knowledge that daddy saddle is upstairs unused. It's like when the cuckoo gets
Tell me
into
about
the
it.
You know when the... I've heard it called some names. Oh, dear.
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
A picture of my back magnets, I believe, has just gone up on our Twitter.
Oh, it'll probably go viral, that bad back of yours.
I hope it doesn't go viral.
No, I did too.
Well, we've heard from an osteopath who's very keen to help you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She says we'd be happy to see you anytime. I don't know if that's a personal invitation or hope it's professional. She says throw the saddle away.
I can't throw the saddle away. It's going to be all right when my tiny child is sitting on my back. It's the big chef thing that's the problem.
Also, given that I've got the reputation on this show for stinginess, your reluctance to get rid of a free saddle seems worth scrutiny.
Well, you know, I think we'll have lots of fun if I am ever able to use it again. Or will my child be 30 and I'm still looking at that saddle because of the big chef? But
You don't ever want to be sitting in the daddy saddle at 30.
No, I believe they. It's also known as the Daddle.
The Daddle.
Yeah, the daddy saddle. But anyway, I've got one as new to go on eBay if it comes.
Already writing his listing.
The thing is with the magnets, I was thinking as well. If I wore a waistcoat with metal buttons, had the magnets on the back, it'd be quite a slimming look.
Yeah, it might do you an internal injury though.
Wouldn't it pull the stomach?
Yeah.
Pull the stomach back.
Good job you're not a pearly king, innit?
I don't think people have properly. I have to say, I just looked at the picture of my the magnets on my back. I realised I haven't seen my. I don't know if I've ever seen my back before.
Your own back?
No.
Oh, I love my back.
I'm not sure about my back. It's a bit hairier at the base than I anticipated. A bit of a ponytail in the small of the back.
I didn't see that. I was focusing on the magnets.
No, that's just as well, probably.
That's what I was most attracted to.
No. It's how often does one sit and look at one's own back?
That's the texting for the yogis.
That's what they all take the selfies of now.
Their own back?
Yeah, the ladies do.
Do they?
Yeah. Because you've got to have your bootay in it.
Oh,
I see. Oh, yeah, you're right, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't think this one's going to break the internet.
Well, let's see. Let's see, Kim K.
Broke my back. Anyway...
you were Rearer of the Year once.
Yeah, that was a long time. 2000.
You and Carol Smiley, I believe.
That's true. Yes, 15 years ago I was Rearer of the Year.
wow.
I hated the picture.
It's
You
sad.
wore
It's
weird,
like,
tight trousers, like skating. What were you wearing to try and show it off?
they ask you to wear tight. I was wearing sort of long johns.
Yeah.
It was Pretty Polly sponsored.
Or was it?
I'm just throwing that in for the fashion enthusiasts.
Yeah, 15 years behind the curve.
15 years, but now I feel like, you know, when you see an old Bond girl and you think, oh,
Yeah.
that's how I'd say now if I saw my Rhea, probably.
Maria.
Yeah, not my Rhea. The most beautiful sound I have ever heard. My Rhea. My Rhea, my Rhea, my... Oh, that sounds a bit worse than I wanted it to.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had a review in from Cole Macaulay on Twitter of the photograph of you, which we've just put up.
Oh, yes.
And all his takeaway seems to be suit jacket with no shirt. I love it.
Yeah.
Suggesting you've gone a bit Frankenstein's monster.
Exactly. No, I have a jumper on which I raised for the picture, but I do like the idea that I might turn up it. I mean, that's the thing about radio. I could if I wanted to.
You look great in that jumper.
Thank you so much. You know, I'm not into knitwear because, as I've said many times on here, once it's washed, you might as well just throw it away. It's never the same.
Well, why don't you? I do. OK, we've had email in from Lisa from Ipswich.
Oh, yes?
Dear Emily, Alun and Frank, long-time listener from Germany. And and more recently from the UK.
Welcome in.
Okay.
Enjoying that snack bar days. Juice is just eating a snack bar while I'm trying to read an email.
I should say we got sent some Eat Natural bars today.
I just heard the producer, the rustling of the snack bar. It's like going to the theatre with Del Boy.
I noticed
It's unbearable. I'm trying to do a live show here, love.
The Eat Natural logo is written on a boomerang, which suggests I'll be
It'll be coming back to you.
be repeating. Oh, God, they did warn me.
Did you favour peanut and popcorn?
I've gone peanut and popcorn. Anyway, what?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Is it Lisa from Germany?
Yeah.
And
Pretty. Sorry.
Well remembered.
Sorry, forgive me.
This is terrible. And more recently from the UK.
I love Germany, can I say?
Yeah.
I love it. After last week's discussion about what's called the upper part of a pyjama,
Oh, yes.
we discussed this, Al, didn't we? Because Frank...
I don't think he wasn't here.
Oh, God, how embarrassing.
Oh, dear.
Well, I'm telling him.
That
Discussed many times Frank's sleepwear.
That
I
is
think.
really like, do you remember when we went to see Bob Dylan? That wasn't me. It's one of those moments.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, this is awful. I'm just
Sorry,
moving on.
just keep through it.
Okay. I thought particularly Frank would be interested to learn that in German, a pyjama is also called a Schlafenzug.
Schlafenzug. Where does
Literally translates to sleep suit. As
there you
silly
go.
as I'm aware it sounds in English, it's perfectly normal to say it in German. Keeping that in mind, Frank might be able to convince you two to call it a pyjama jacket after all, as every suit needs a jacket. Greetings, no praise, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. And I like Schlafenzug. So do
I.
What's the last bit spelled?
And we all.
It's not S-U-G. That's a train.
F-A-N-Z-U-G.
Z-U-G.
Oh, it is.
Schlafenzug.
Schlafenzug. I like that. The Germans are very good at putting words together.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Is this another late review?
Yeah. It is. I hope it's a continuing process. Yes.
Romans are really good with numbers.
Yeah, very good on roads, the Romans. I've noticed. I'll tell you what, it's about time we had an Imperial Leather update on the
gosh.
show. Some of you may know that I was always a big fan of Imperial Leather, the soap, because it has a little silver label on it,
Yes.
which does under which the soap does not wear away. So it develops a kit and a heel, a sort of plinth that you can place it on. And I've always been very happy with this. And then recently they dropped the label.
Well, we've had an email about this morning.
You are having a laugh.
We're hoping to.
This is from Ed, who says, "Hi all, a while ago Frank was bemoaning the loss of the sticky paper rectangle in a bar of Imperial Leather soap. I think he must have had a rogue batch, because I've never seen this. Perhaps it came from a discount supermarket, as I know he's struggling for money these days."
Well, since
Anyway.
the back's gone.
When I opened a new pack the other day, I noticed that it's not even called soap anymore, they're cleansing bars.
Oh.
So I don't
Cleansing
just get
bars.
clean, I'm cleansed. How very Catholic. No wonder it's Frank's choice. That's from Ed.
But, Ed, the recent ones I bought have not had.
I don't think you should call him Butthead.
Sorry.
just sent an email in. It's not fair.
Yes, but... Yeah, right. Oh, dear. Anyway, I was going to say, the ones I've got...
fine
The
work.
ones... That was very good. But I'd like to end on that, because it's untoppable, but I just want to make the point that the recent ones I've bought have not had the label, but I've just had a label-based incident, which I'll come back to. I know you're all on the edge of your seats.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
So anyway, now the thing is with the Imperial Leather, believe me, all the new Imperial Leather I've bought has not got the sticky label. And somebody, I don't know if you remember this, a while back they sent me, from Ireland, they said, oh, well, we still have the sticky label on it over here. So they sent me some of that stuff. So that was a lovely walk down memory lane to have in the shower. And what happened is that when I got to the bot of the soap, I took the label off at the last throw of the dice, you know. And it
While
was-
you were in the shower?
Yeah. So the
Bit sleazy.
So the label was just sitting there in the soap rack. And then, a couple of weeks later, I got some of the new Imperial Leather, Sol's label, right? I was using that. When I took it out the soap rack after a couple of days, it was wearing the old label from the traditional. Like it was, you know, trying to look older to maybe get into a club.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the new stuff wearing false ID.
Oh.
And I was so astonished.
How was the experience for you?
Well, put it this way, I took a photograph of the soap with the sticker on, thinking, my first thought was, wow, they're going to love this, the readers of the show.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you said they're going to love this, who were you thinking of?
I was thinking of you guys, people who listen. I thought this is going to be this is going to be like the extraordinary world of Arthur C. Clarke. Something really strange has happened, and I've captured it. Like one might photograph, say, an osprey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Afterwards, I thought, I don't know if it's such a big deal to other people.
Have you got the photos?
I have. In fact, that can go up next to my
That'll
bat
go up,
magnets.
Charlie.
Yeah. But
I'd like to see it.
It was a pretty supernatural event.
Anyone who says we're not glamorous on this show, our social media efforts this morning, most people have Instagrams of coffees and sunsets. What have we got? Your back magnets and imperial leather soap.
Yeah. I'm like the new Stephen Fry on the social networking. Don't worry about that.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I'll tell you what, do you ever do anything activity-wise in public where you're thinking, this makes me look quite hot, what I'm doing now?
Hello, have we met?
I watched a woman today, and I've seen this same woman do this about 3 times. She either really, really likes apples,
Right.
or she's worked out that eating an apple is kind of quite a sexy thing to do. And she eats it in the... I can't name her, obviously. She's someone who I vaguely know. But
Sorry, what do you mean? This all sounds a bit dodgy.
So she eats it
vaguely
like... No, she's just someone who... is at my one of my workplaces, and it's the real sort of the elbow holding the apple leans on the other arm, and it's and it's like and it's really like look at
this
me.
Is turning my stomach, so I don't know how she's doing it.
No, I know what you mean. It's sort of abandon, isn't it? It's
sort of look at me. I just say I eat on the move. That's the kind of person I am.
Right.
It's sometimes I see...
I do that, but with takeaway.
I will see a good-looking young person, male or female, and instead of standing, if they're waiting somewhere, they'll climb up onto a wall and sit with their back against the lamp. You think that doesn't look very comfortable, but it does look like an album sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never do any of those things, I must say.
No, I do.
I don't.
I sit with my legs curled up in a chair. I think it makes me look quite cool.
Oh, okay. You're doing it now?
Yeah, I'm always doing it.
I can't see it from here.
Yeah. I'll
So
just
if
your
I-
back, Blumenthal back.
Yeah, I can't get down to even look. Okay. I can't think of anything I do that makes me look...
No,
but
I
you
can't either.
I can't think
I
of
think
anything
Al's
you
the
do
sort of
either.
bloke who I would say does perhaps 20 to 25 things, but won't mention any of them on air.
Is that right? That sounds good, yeah. When we talked about this last time, the girls in the room spent 10 minutes discussing how when men take their T-shirts off with one hand and scoop it.
Yes.
And I've since implemented that into my life, but deliberately, not like...
Do you know, it's so hot when men do that. Are you familiar with this, Frank?
Well, A, I don't think I could do it. B, I think I'd rip at least 3 of my magnets off.
It's... I mean, honestly,
Also, I
I'm
don't really
speechless.
wear T-shirts. I don't think T-shirts are for people of my
You can do it with anything, can't you?
No, but they should be showing off a supple, young physique.
Do you think you can't wear T-shirts?
If
past
I wear a
certain age?
T-shirt, I look like... You know when you see those old-timers in cowboy films just wearing their long john tops? It's kind of early for gun shooting, ain't it? It's one of those blokes.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, they got a bit of a belly and stuff, and you imagine it's not
Do you think
altogether
you
clean
also-
round the back end.
Maybe you have to abandon the logo after a certain age as well on the
The
T-shirt.
logo?
Do you think?
Yes, I couldn't... yes. I'm not very good with the logos anyway.
No. Gotta be
Get
fair.
like a big... When you got gap, really big letters on your chest. No. I can't do that. Sorry, you're all staring at me. If you got sponsorship...
You
Or
started
have you
the-
forgotten?
No, but I have
You
got
started-
discount card.
You started the company,
sorry.
didn't you?
A Gap. I did start Gap, but we had a bit of a falling out, as you know. And I used to. It was my job in many ways to mind the Gap.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8am on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
In a moment, I'd like to discuss Boris Johnson and his antics.
And his auntie.
And his auntie.
and his antiques.
And his antiques,
But
yeah.
he's got antiques and an auntie.
Going to cover the
Antiques?
whole Bojo experience, but we've just had a text from 453. I just
Hello.
wondered if Frank had met any fellow back pain sufferers with a similar magnet installation. If so, were they noticeably easier or more difficult to approach?
I found them repellent.
Yes, that's from Eamon. Well done.
That is
But
good.
yes, Boris Johnson has been in
We'll
the
call
news
that
again.
section of the show Eamon Corner.
Oh, okay, good, yeah. He's been playing a game called Touch Rugby whilst on a Japanese visit.
Yes, I saw the VT of this.
Did you?
That's the kind
Bit
of
of,
character I am.
Bit of technical lingo for the audience there. VT videotape.
Videotape. I mean, it's technical. It's 20 years out of date.
So Mike Mansfield, cue the music.
Yeah, I
And
watched.
roll it in.
I think I probably watched an MP3 of it. Is that likely? Was it a JPEG?
Download, torrent, stream. Yes.
JPEG sounds like a pop star or a film
JPEG.
star that they, you know,
Yeah, it
sort of
does.
Josephine Pegworthy, or they call her JPEG.
Frank, what film star is going to be called Josephine Pegworthy?
Well, in the
I like
19th.
Change your name
I
if
like
you were
her.
called that, and that was the job you wanted.
Okay,
Come on.
maybe you're right.
Josephine Pegworthy, I like that.
I'm going to use that next time I stay in a hotel.
I've been looking for a
really last
non-de-plume
time?
for some time.
Last time,
What was your name last time you checked into a hotel? They give you a strange name. What was it?
Oh, that's
it was
right.
Frank Liberty. Oh, yes. But I didn't choose that. They were trying to be kind and hide me from...
From who?
From
Three pensioners.
they imagine that I'm mobbed by people, which is very sweet of them to think that. Completely incorrect. Anyway, Boris.
Bojo.
Oh, yeah, Bojo.
As the newspaper describes it, he flattened a 10-year-old Japanese schoolboy
did.
during this game of rugby. He
really
probably
did as well.
He got a
knocked
little
him
over
over.
competitive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we should say, boys, he's got form.
Oh,
Bojo,
yeah,
because he
totally.
did this last year.
Yes.
Are you aware of
In
this?
a game of football.
It was a game of football at Tower Bridge,
Yeah.
and he did the same thing to a 9-year-old. He knocked a 9-year-old over.
Oh, well, at
Yeah.
least he's going up a bit from that.
Yeah.
In 10 years' time, we'll
They'll be adults.
Yeah.
Did you see the face on him when he looked like a
Yeah.
man possessed.
Yeah.
But I think he probably is quite a competitive character. isn't he?
Yeah, do you think? Yeah.
He's brilliant at tennis, I've been told.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. You know, really. I know he looks like a fat bloke, but apparently, like, young, fit people have played him, and he's wiped the floor with them. You know, having it out.
Okay. I'm not sure. I've got a...
Don't let the politics get in the way of his tennis.
No, I'm not letting the although, can I just say, is there a more Tory split second than an adult flattening a kid in a schoolboy game of like, well, he's got to learn. He's got to learn.
Well, he did say...
A little tough life lesson.
He said, like Chumbawamba, he got knocked down and then he got up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's mischief on Boris's part? Do you think he knows that Chumbawamba are politically at the opposite end of the spectrum from him? 'Cause
I think he's doing it because it's
Well, are they?
TFI
Didn't
Friday's
they-
back.
Didn't they? Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, you don't get more TFI Friday than Chumbawamba.
True enough.
Did he? Didn't they tip a pint of beer over John Prescott?
They did. He wasn't
yeah.
left wing enough.
Yes.
Oh, well,
exactly. I actually listened to Chumbawamba. I like them. I
That does
still-
not surprise me.
I mean, not that particular song that
I
he's
think I
referring
used to eat their chewing gum.
I didn't like that he wore a tie. I don't like any sporting activity.
She was a
done
very
with a
nice
tie.
woman, though.
Thank-
She.
Oh, God,
Also, with the Japanese, do the Japanese not do the martial arts anymore? They do, but that. Why didn't the kid? You'd expect the kid. If that had been in a film, the kid would have got would have left
stereotypes.
No, but that's what's a noble tradition.
Be some competent kid, 10 years old, to flatten Boris. I mean,
no, come on. If you've all seen that though. I don't know if you've ever seen Kung Fu: The Head Crusher.
No, funnily enough, no.
Oh,
I've seen Sex and the City too, but not Kung Fu: The Head Crusher.
Have you seen Deaf Mute Heroin?
Not my last girls' night out. No.
Okay. If I thought he'd have turned, it would have been great if he'd turned and got into the stance and really...
I mean, I do watch a lot of YouTube clips like Bully Gets Owned. It would be great if Boris became that bully. That would go viral.
Gets owned. Touch rugby. Massive fail. Yeah, he could have left him on the ground looking like... joke coming. An eaten mess. Because he went to...
Is this what it's come to? Joke coming?
Joke coming.
Well, I find people need to be alerted at home.
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a tweet in from someone called Kate Calcutt, and it's simply hashtag Josephine Pegworthy. Seems to be taking off, Frank, your mythical Hollywood movie star.
What about if some young actress now is looking for a stage name and thinks, I'm having that.
Yeah, why not?
And then she becomes a major star. That'd be great.
We've also had a text from Sarah, who's the last three numbers on her.
Sarah Beanie?
514. No, I don't think so.
I thought she was going to tell us what time the Edge puts on his beanie in the morning.
She's quite proud of herself, though. I like this. Referencing looking cool, I'm sitting in my large armchair in my bay window drinking a coffee which is in an oversized cup and saucer, browsing through magazines.
It's got very lemsip.
Well done, Sarah.
People without children.
It doesn't say that she hasn't got children.
No, but she hasn't. Believe me, she hasn't. That's how I lived before I had a child.
Yeah.
Magazines.
What about when Jonathan Ross got into a massive temper with me, rage, because he...
I know what a temper is.
We were all staying... I wanted to build it up more.
No, okay.
You
don't want it to be a tiny temper.
We were staying in a hotel in separate rooms, may I add.
Of course.
And he knocked on my door, and I was sitting there reading the papers, and he said it got him so angry that I was... He goes, Em was sitting there with a cup of coffee reading the papers.
I know, it's something that does go. But, it's replaced by not being able to pick him up because Eston Blumenthal's hurt your back.
Not for all parents.
Not for all parents.
It's a very niche parental problem that you've got.
I'll tell you a brilliant thing. You know that I've got this... I've got a thing with Bojo.
Oh, yeah.
You're not the only one.
Is that there is something about him that I really like. It's something. What
is it, do you think?
Well, I like the fact that he studied the classics. That that's his area.
Oh, my nan.
Yeah, I do. Anyone who's involved with the classics, I'm impressed by.
He's a smart man.
And consequently, his use of language. He said to one of the Japanese officials, he said, don't worry, so when you're building up to the Olympics, people will be negative. He said, but for the period it was on in Great Britain, it felt like the country had been crop dusted with serotonin. I mean, come on. Respect. I think I might...
I do like that.
I could vote for him on the strength of that one turn of phrase. I can't imagine any other politician saying that.
I'm not sure.
Actually, not true. I can imagine an Arab leader saying it and it being translated because they like the poetic speak.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when Saddam Hussein talks about the mother of all wars? He said, they weren't saying that on our...
That's another lovely reference to make.
Yeah, well, it was.
Another of your heroes.
Apparently there's children's shops in Iraq called the mother of all care.
Right.
Check them out.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
We've heard back from Sarah, who, as you may remember, was sitting in her window looking cool, drinking coffee from a big cup and reading the magazines. And she's texted, Frank's right, I don't have children, just two beautiful cats.
Oh, God, cats as well. It's like a...
Piling it on now, isn't it?
It's like an advert for something glamorous.
Nescafe.
What a life, Sarah.
Don't you love Alan's idea of glamour? Nescafe.
Remember Nescore?
No.
Yeah, it was a sort of...
Is he a footballer?
Nescore was a coffee, obviously, and I think the advert, the music used to go, we all drink Nescore. But
Did you grow up in Iraq?
I did actually, yeah. But I'll tell you something, we had the mother of all coffee. But it had a special thing, and I can't remember what it was. If anyone remember what was the selling point for Nescore, please text us in.
I don't know. I don't think we got that in London.
Maybe. Camp? Did you get Camp?
Oh, in our house, yeah.
No, but the Camp coffee.
No.
Oh, that was Chicory Essence.
No, we had Fortnum and Mason.
Chicory Essence could be someone who had been out with, say, Jay-Z previously. Anyway.
So,
Boris.
What are we talking about? Oh, Bojo, yeah.
I'll tell you what is incredible about him, and which I find fascinating, is that you don't actually meet that many English people who are that blonde.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
What you meet is a great many English people who are pretending to be that blonde.
Yeah.
But he's the real deal. As far as I can tell, I can't believe he's dyed his hair. He's a properly blonde man, like a child would draw a blonde person with a yellow crayon.
Yes.
I mean, he's blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
No, normally a blonde who's interested in the classics would be my ideal companion.
Yeah.
I think he might be more complicated. I imagine he keep knocking me over for stuff. I've got enough with Blumenthal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a skittle.
No, exactly. Well, I mean, I get back up, I get knocked down again by another.
And you certainly don't drink a vodka drink and a whiskey drink.
No, I don't. I'd forgot that bit.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so that's another reason I find him inspirational.
Is it?
He's blonde.
I think you might be right about his competitiveness. I think actually he's seen that George Osborne did one of those speeches, at the party conference, and everyone's saying, oh, George Osborne, he might be the next leader. And I think Bojo's thought, maybe I'm not going to be next leader. And he's also been reading the papers, that's part of his job. And he's thought, rugby, I'll try and become a England rugby player. They're at a low, I could get in the team. And so he's making a pitch for it. He's making an actual
There will
goal.
be. I don't know anything about rugby, but there will be people, I bet, this week who have said unironically, yeah, well, if the England team had that much aggression, we might still be in the... I bet you there's people who've said that.
Yeah.
Was I just one of them? Am I doing it?
There will have been
Did you
people
say what I just
on
did?
the
I
Twitter.
don't think you said that.
Near enough.
I think you're sharper than that.
Oof.
That's what I think.
Not often.
I tell you what, though, on the competitive front, I do find if I'm on the motorway and somebody starts, behind starts trying to get past, they start tailgating. I had a bloke doing the flashing lights thing. To be fair, I was only doing 110. That was a joke. That was a joke. If the police
was he on your back like Blumenthal?
The police used to be on the motorway all the time. Where are they now? Never see the police on the motorway.
There's fewer of them.
Right.
There's fewer of them.
I come up with a good phrase for us, Frank. I said, was he on your back like Blumenthal?
He was.
That's what I'm going to say now. If someone's driving behind me.
He was. But I always, when they overtake me, I always drive as fast as I possibly can to stop them from going past. Now, that's probably dangerous, isn't it?
And petty,
Yeah, I'm petty. Sorry, I apologise.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm talking about up to 70 and not beyond.
No, not a penny over.
But where have all the police cars gone off the motorway?
Is that today's text?
I see them.
Yes.
They've got those big...
No, what you see, you think, copper, and then it's like motorway maintenance or something with like high-vis stripes down the
do
side.
they not count?
Yeah, or something like animal ambulance. And you look and there's two animals driving it.
Yeah.
You realise they're running a service of their own.
A dog at a steering wheel, hello.
Oh, I love to see that, yeah. Security dog.
I really don't. I always feel like it's hazardous.
Well,
What if they knock the handbrake?
But if anyone knows where the police have gone off the motor, I'd like to. I miss those little 70-mile-an-hour processions when you used to...
I love those, Frank.
The way you had to go like 72, 73 to just get in front of the car in front and then get the hell out of town.
Absolute Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Matt has tweeted us to say, police car just gone past us on the M25 with the blues and twos on. No animal drivers.
Okay. Well,
Good update.
that mate, well, it can't just be me, can it? Because, you know, I'm driving on the same motorway as everyone else.
And Jeremy Vine is listening to us, I'm just saying.
Jeremy Vine is listening.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll be in training.
Be in training.
Yeah, because he's got
on the dance
Strictly tonight, yeah.
Lovely.
Well, good luck, Jeremy, if you're listening.
Good luck.
Oh, you say that now you know he's listening.
Well, there's no good saying it if he isn't.
Well, it is.
Just trying to say it into
Why
the
do you
ether.
have to say it? Just because they're listening. You could wish people well.
No, that'll be like those radio hams who just send messages into the night.
The ones that say all righty, stuff like that.
Anyway.
You see, you were saying, Frank, about... You do have a competitive streak.
I don't think
You
of
do.
myself as much of a...
Do you want to see the producer's face?
Okay.
You're one of the most competitive people I've ever met. Can you tell
What?
me... You are. You and David Baddiel had an argument once. I feel we can be honest about this. What was it about?
We had an argument about Trivial Pursuit.
There you go. Because it was a cheese.
No, because...
A pie or whatever.
no.
You said it wasn't.
No, but the thing was that it was which film cost so million, blah, blah, blah. And the answer was Cleopatra. And he said Anthony and Cleopatra. And I said, no, it was called Cleopatra. And he said it's Anthony. I said, look, it's a pie question, so we have to be precise. He ended up storming out. And then remembered...
I'm Team Baddiel on this side.
No, but he stormed out and then remembered mid-storm that it was his house. So he nearly... I think I probably could have claimed some sort of squatting rights if he'd actually gone.
How were you not talking for a while then after that?
I think we might maybe a day or so. I mean, I have in those kinds of games, like the hat game.
Yeah.
You know the hat game when you have to you put the names in a hat. You write lots of celebrity names.
Oh
on a
yeah, and
piece
you
of
stick them
paper.
on your head, and then
No, that's a different one. The one where you have to communicate what's on the paper, but you can't say any of the names.
Yes.
So if
a bit
it
like
said,
articulate.
If it said Elvis Presley, you'd have to say famous Memphis-born rock
Strung
star.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Lived in Graceland, but you wouldn't be. If you said Elvis or Presley, you've lost it.
Do you know what I do generally in that game? Came to dinner at mine on the 21st of September.
Yeah, that's good.
Attended my 22nd birthday party.
Well,
Yep, Sue Pollard, that's right.
I must have told you when I was
True story.
I was on my own one Christmas, and David Baddiel said, "I can't leave you on your own. Why don't you? We're having a Jewish Christmas party." I know, but we're having a Jewish. I didn't want to be picky. We're having a Jewish Christmas party, and you know, they're all very old friends of mine. And I'll phone up and ask if you can come. And I said, "Oh no, I don't want to intrude and all that." And he said, "No." I said, "I'd feel bad." He said, "Honestly, I'll phone it." And they said,
that's
"Yeah,
nice.
no." And they said yes. And the food that they'd got, they expanded to make for another meal. So they all took a little bit less so that I could have a Christmas dinner with them, which was lovely. But then we played the hat game.
Oh, what happened?
And I was playing with this guy who I'd never met before in my life, but it was an old friend. And I can't tell you all the details of this because there's some swearing involved. But I had on my bit of paper Gandhi. So I said, very famous, perhaps the most famous Indian of all time. And he said, Sitting Bull. I said, no, not, I mean, from the Asian subcontinent. And he's played by Ben Kingsley. He wore just like a simple white robe. He went on hunger strikes. He said, Cochise. I said, no, he wasn't a Native American. He's from the... And then, after I'd done a load, I mean, everything that I could say about Gandhi, I went on and on. He was known as Bapu, even. I even said that. And then he said, Sitting Bull again. And I said, you are a thick, and then a swear word. And remember, I'd been invited into their home.
Frank!
At which point, when I said
so
it,
horrifying.
I said, you are a thick, and his girlfriend instantly burst into tears.
Merry Christmas!
Exactly. Oh, it was the most awful experience of my life, but you know, he didn't get it.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
So this very week I played the hat game again with a group of people I know.
You love playing games, don't you? You play a lot of games.
I like a game. I don't have many
hate
friends.
You do.
Don't forget that. I don't really. Anyway, it's fine. We sat around. There was probably about, I don't know, 8 or 9 of us, and Peter Rabbit came up 3 times.
Did he? I didn't know you were mates with him.
In the hat game.
All right.
And then I noticed that the box, we hadn't got a hat, so we had to put the bits of paper in the box. The box had got a picture of Peter Rabbit on. I thought, this is like Kaiser Sose.
It is. Definitely is.
Is there anything you see? I suppose it. But there was a bit in that where Kath, when she took out, I think, the 2nd or 3rd Peter Rabbit, the idea is if you take out a name that's already done, you do it again anyway, because you might, it's always...
Well, I say, I wasn't even there, and I feel stiff with stress on behalf of Kath.
But there was a bit which I did sort of, where she said, we've already had this one, and I said, just do it!
I can so imagine you saying
she looked at me and sorry. So
see, I never get competitive.
At one point, the clue I had to... This is the sort of people I was playing with. The clue I had to give was... he wrote a seminal sociological text about suicide.
Wow.
Oh.
It was Emil Durkheim.
Right. My guess was going to be Peter Rabbit. So
it was you're in with a shout with Peter Rabbit.
I wish you'd stop hanging out with the lotto lout. I would actually rather lose than cause people's displeasure. I get so stressed.
It's a view.
I'm actually phobic about winning. I don't like it.
What?
I just don't like it. I hate it when people say, let's get Scrabble out. I go to the toilet, I do anything. I feign excuses. I don't like board games.
But you have told me that
Yes.
I was in a quiz team with Emily.
I know this story.
And I said I used to go to bed at night and fantasise about getting the questions, the ones I'd got wrong, I used to fantasise about getting them right. I used to hear me saying them as if I knew them. And you said, oh yeah, I do that.
I did, but you know why? Because I was in a team. I don't like being the lone. That's the thing. I don't like being pitted against people.
Right.
Okay, it's a bit about me.
Okay.
Except once during a game of Monopoly, when I decided to steal from the bank, but I was a timid thief because I stole the yellow pound notes.
Oh yeah.
That's not going to help, is it? At that stage, you need hotels.
Aim higher. Yeah.
Monopolies.
It's
not my culture.
George Michael.
The property ownership thing.
I just don't.
Why don't you like it?
I've always thought the sort of people that like it are the sort of people that tell you they like stuff that they don't really like, so that you'll think, oh, that's their sort of person.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
Weird.
What does that mean?
Do I know what you
when
mean?
you read,
No.
you know when you read a Q&A with a celebrity and it says
they like
favourite
Monopoly.
music, hip hop, and you think, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
You just think that's a cool thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Gordon Brown, like in the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah,
I like the
all that.
idea of Monopoly being cool.
I think Monopoly has got a certain kind of person who wears a jumper that says, I read books.
Oh, okay. A bit apprentice candidate.
I mean, I do read books, but I don't play Monopoly.
You
You
genuinely
don't put it on a jumper, do you?
I don't put it on a jumper. What am I, some kind of buffoon?
I've been getting competitive. Actually, I've been going in both directions recently on this because I've been playing
I don't know if
my.
we should be airing that.
I've been playing my son at a game of Top Trumps where he's got these cards that are all like little gory cartoons, so you can kind of win on smelliness and rarity, and they've all got different numbers, like Top Trumps.
Yeah, but how can you, if they're not real people, how can you speculate on what they've got?
You just have to look at it and go, oh, smelliness, 90, that's quite a high
What
number.
is it, celebrity smelliness?
No, it's not celebrity, it's
that'd
made
be
up
good.
little grotesque
Oh, I
cartoon
thought it was who
things.
you thought might smell.
I have
You
to
have covered
say,
before.
I have to say, I have been walloping. I absolutely smashed him at it like
You don't
nights
do
in a
that.
row.
You don't do that letting him win thing.
No,
do
I didn't let him win once, just walloped him. He's 8 though, so he can take it. Whereas my daughter, we've been playing a game called Pick Up Pairs, where you put all the cards out.
Frank and David used to play that.
Yeah.
We play it slightly differently. Where you sort of look at a card and you go, oh, I've picked up a rabbit and an elephant. They don't match.
Rabbit. See, rabbit. He's just gone for the first thing I've been
Rabbits
talking
are
about.
everywhere, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she is smashing me at it. She's 4 years old and it's like she's got some kind of memory trick going on. And I'm finding myself quite quickly getting a bit competitive, like, I can't wait to beat her at this game.
I think the Absolute Radio sports department are going to feel you're treading on their toes with this material.
All right, fair enough. I'll just leave it there then. Just telling you.
No, it's I at this stage, I'm letting my son win any game we play. I let him win.
Really? Oh no, you
God, he
I
might
don't
be
know if
listening.
that's the right message.
He might be
get a bit
listening now and
Tory
go,
on this.
what? No, I don't think they have to learn about. They have to learn about defeat early on in life.
What we do is...
Not with our money.
Whoever wins...
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 8 12 15, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
We've had a text in, actually, and can I just proceed reading this out by saying that I think we all agree that you're a really clever guy, Frank. That said, we have had a text from David from Leatherhead who says Elvis wasn't born in Memphis, it was Tupelo. Actually, he says "twas Tupelo."
He's absolutely right. I've actually stood in the birthplace in Tupelo, Mississippi, not Memphis, Tennessee. Of all the mistakes to make, Elvis's birthplace.
Yeah.
Luckily,
like
I'm
you.
wearing a chalise, one of those barbed wire garters.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're not, but you're wearing 6 plasters because of your Blumenthal back.
That's true, and they're irritating.
Henry Tudor has tweeted us to say congrats on no
Really?
muffin top. Yeah.
No, what?
Congrats on no muffin top.
Oh, yeah.
That's
for your,
thanks
photo.
for that, Henry.
Henry Tudor tweeting.
He loves a tweet.
Well, I never...
Did you know Henry Tudor? No, but thanks for the tip. So, what else?
Oh, I'll tell you what else. We need to talk about the world's most boring calendar. Because... Were you familiar with last year's Fridges Across the Country calendar?
That rings a yes.
It's all very well.
Now, was it a deliberately ironic character, or was it someone who believed in fridges?
Well, I don't know.
See, I like it better if
I'm not
people
sure either.
think it's good, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Well, his name's Kevin Beresford. He, this year, has tried his luck with the post boxes of Wales. But it's not attracting the same frenzy.
Isn't that a bit similar to the bells of Wales? Remember that idea I had for a show in which I go around Wales next to churches and listen to the bells and then discuss with a celebrity what they sound like?
Extraordinary that hasn't had a commission.
I'm still waiting. I don't think it's actually been written off.
So
It's all change at the top.
Is
Anything
it?
could happen. Oh, yeah.
Post boxes of Wales. Do you want to know how many he sold?
The calendars, okay. Go on, yeah.
None.
0.
Yeah.
It's
a shame.
October, though, to be
Zilch,
fair. Would you
nada.
buy a calendar in October?
I just bought a diary this week
You are.
for next year.
Yeah, but I'm guessing you've just bought a 2015 because it was cheap and using it as a notebook.
Bought 2016. Ask me how much. Ask me how much.
How much?
79 pence.
How small is it?
It's about, yeah.
Is
like
it a
that.
page, a day a page? A page
No,
a
it's
day?
a week a page. It's for,
Oh, weaker page. What, have you got a betting shop pen? How are you going to write in it?
I'm
my
really
bookings.
happy that the people still buy that. I see those outside shops that don't normally sell stationery. You know, you get like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And I
that's where it's
think, who
from.
buys those? And
Here he is,
that's
ladies and
great.
gentlemen, Alan Cochrane.
Yeah.
Great news.
Yeah.
So, this boring calendar, well, the post boxes of Wales, he seems to think, Kevin Beresford said he hasn't sold, he says he's got a good reason, it's down to the rugby and the football. He says people are concentrating on them and not the post boxes.
Yeah.
That's how it's been hit, I see.
Does he think that it's somehow spite that people are resentful of Wales's success in the rugby, and
must-
so the English nation is not buying his calendar?
To
Is
be
that
fair
what it
to
is?
Kevin, my it's called The Adventures of My Soap calendar.
Oh, yeah.
Has not been selling
No.
as
No.
well, anywhere near as well as I expected. So,
That is
He
a
has
pity.
all sorts in there. He's got the double aperture and everything.
Has he?
is that first class, second class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Excellent. Good for him.
Yeah, you don't see many of those now.
Good for him.
It's,
I like
Hmm.
Do
him.
you remember when I bought you a Cliff Richard calendar,
I
Frank?
do.
Yeah.
And what great shape he was in. It's only been about 3 years ago.
I like a calendar.
Well, I've often thought, as I may have said before with Cliff Richard, that wouldn't be much point in him having love handles.
Frank, my favourite ever calendar that I've had was the Hot Priests. You probably don't approve of that, do you?
They weren't real priests, were they?
Hottest Catholic priests in the Vatican City.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did it, and they gave the money to charity, and the priests wouldn't be named, which I think was respectful. Smoking though.
There was smoking in it.
Smoking
hot.
I don't think they're allowed to smoke in the robes, are they? Is it like clowns?
They can do what they want, darling.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll tell you later.
I like the sort of Andy Warhol nature of this, so of seeing beauty in the everyday thing. You know what I mean?
do,
A post box. You might walk past the post box a million times, and then one day, just because it's been pointed out to you, think, actually, that is a lovely thing. I often think this about, should I say this? I will. Bra straps. If I see a bra strap, you know, just not completely aligned with the strap on the top, I always think, that's really what being a human being's all about. What are you looking at me like that for?
I'm not. I'm just hoiking up my bra strap.
Okay.
He didn't say joke coming before it, so I'm assuming that this is just serious. This is fact.
I'm not. I think it's all right. It's nothing very. It's not seed. It's not coppage. If I was talking about coppage, it'd be a different matter.
Yeah, that would be different.
But a strap, it's just something about, you know, vive la différence.
Frank Skinner
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Can I tell you my favourite thing about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that this guy who's been in the papers 2 years in a row for having a boring calendar out is called Kevin. I like the fact that he's got a name that we traditionally would associate. No disrespect to any Kevins out there.
Oh, no.
But if you were
lovely
writing
Kevins.
a sitcom and you wanted a character that was going to be known for their boringness, Kevin Beresford would be quite high up on your name's options, wouldn't it?
It hasn't got the sort of glamour of Josephine Pegworthy.
No, exactly.
No.
Exactly. I like that a lot. I think it's a good thing. And also, I like the fact that he's gone for post boxes of Wales. I don't know, what did he rule out on the way to post boxes? Was he like, mountains? Nah, too interesting.
Yeah.
Lakes? Like, did he work his way down? Phone boxes? Nah, too popular. How did he get to post boxes? I just think he's all right.
I prefer it though. I'm with Frank. I prefer it if it's a genuine passion of his.
Yes.
I won't like it if he's self-aware about it.
I think he might be.
Oh,
I think
no.
it might. He's
I'm
been a
off
bit arch.
Well,
no.
that is a shame.
A little bit. Do you remember the calendar song? Do you remember that song?
that?
It was in the charts. It was like a steel band, and they sang
love
a
in the
song.
charts.
And it was.
Top of the hit parade.
It went January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Remember it?
No, but
And
I
then
can
it
get
went
all, I can get all
January,
of that for 79 pence.
February, and the middle 8 was August, September, October,
right.
November. That was all there was
Oh.
to it.
I hope the middle 8 had 8 months in it. I really do.
I don't think it did. No.
Oh, goodness
I got
me.
the lyrics to it on my wall somewhere. Yes, indeed.
I mean, I don't know if you remember, but when we came back to do this show this year after last Christmas, I think I explicitly said that this year my New Year's resolution was to celebrate my own boringness, and I have really been going at that. Oh God, I actually
Your
went to
boringness.
no, my actual boringness.
His own.
Oh, okay.
It's a Yorkshire way he says own. It sounds like on.
Okay.
My own.
Yeah.
Own. O-W-N, yeah. I really am. I felt sorry this week. I did a gig in Belfast this week, and I felt sorry for a taxi driver, because he told me a story about how he'd met Billy Connolly, and he'd been hilarious, and Billy Connolly had then invited him and his mates to the show, and Billy Connolly had said, oh, these guys, there's one of them that's hilarious. And I had talked to him for 25 minutes about whether or not Skoda would become involved in the VW emissions scandal.
Oh.
And he was not going away from me with any of those stories of like,
No, but
he'll such a laugh.
He'll just lie about you like he lied about Billy Connolly.
Do you think?
Yeah, I
Did
think
Billy
that's
Connolly mention
straightforward.
jet lag? He likes that.
I even mentioned like
That's what he does a lot.
This
There's
is
a
how-
lot of material on jet lag.
this is how forensic and boring I got. I even said, well, of course, you know that VWO and SEAT as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if they get pulled in on it.
I must say, I didn't know that.
And he was going, well, I've got my letter. He'd got a letter about his Skoda being involved. Like I say, I'm really celebrating my own boringness.
Are we still on this link?
Honestly, I now think that I'm so boring to taxi drivers that it's a slight safety hazard. I feel like I should have an extra seatbelt in case I start talking to them.
Spare a thought for the rest of us.
As they pull off, they're drinking Red Bull and trying to wake themselves back up. It's
What about that one that started talking to me about Scale Electrics, just out the blue?
Oh, a cab driver.
Yeah.
What did he say then?
We got in the car and I said, how's the traffic
Oh,
tonight?
we got in a car like it was on a road trip. The two of you.
I got in the back of his
Yeah.
black cab.
Yeah.
And he said to me something very odd, like plenty of traffic tonight. It's like Scale Electric. Actually, is it Scale? I've never worked this out. Is it Scale Electrics or Scale X-Trick?
Your pronunciation sounds slightly Croatian.
Yeah, but is it? Where's the X? Is it the beginning of the
I'm
end?
going Scalextrics.
Okay.
Charlie just gave me a knowing nod.
I'm
as if I
going.
was-
Like she knows.
I'm just going.
That's a bit sexist.
I don't know what it is.
So anyway, he started. He said it's like Scale, and I said, yeah,
Scalextric.
yeah, it is like Scale X-Trick. and then he said, do you ever play Scale X-Trick? And I said, no.
Did you say?
Yeah, I said, no, I
No,
don't.
because I'm over 40.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't. And he said, oh, I play. I go to. He said every Grand Prix, every proper Grand Prix has a shadow
Glad you
Scale
pronounced that
X-Trick
right.
Grand Prix.
Yeah.
He said, and then he got some. He had some cars on his passenger seat
No.
to show me. He said, "What we do is you can change the brush to make them go faster." And it was basically a lecture that I was tricked into. If you're listening, mate, it was interesting, but just do it formally. Don't make it sound like it's just occurred, and then have props.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, you were right first time, according to Clive on Twitter. It's Scale X trick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi there.
We've actually had a text from
Makes me feel good.
677 has texted, they were metal cars called Scale X and they added electricity to them, so Scale Extric.
Brilliant.
Oh, I love that bit of etymology.
Bit of detail for you there. We've also had a text from Daniel saying, I love Monopoly. I have 5 different limited editions plus loads of books.
Check
That's
you
told
out.
you, hasn't
There's
it?
books on it.
No, I think he means that he's a book reader.
Oh, I see. Oh, yes.
You know, in your rant against people
I
that
don't think it
love
was a
Monopoly.
rant. I'll tell
It
you
was a
what.
diatribe, I would say.
I don't
I like that you've decided as well that they're somehow trying to be cool by liking Monopoly.
I mean, I think the irony of you being a slum landlord while slagging off Monopoly players is hilarious.
Oh, don't get into Hoog Stratton territory. He doesn't like it.
Well, I'm not condemning people who like Monopoly. No, I am.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I am. You're quite right. But thank you for getting in touch, Daniel.
We've also had a text in about looking cool. I'm 53 now, so I don't do much to make myself look or feel cool, but I do get something from the rare occasions when I pull up in my car and don't have anything to cart in with me. I just get out, press the remote locking and waltz in.
Yes.
Fumbling around trying to find front door key one-handed and praying I don't drop anything. Fantastic from Mike in Cardiff.
I
is
like
true.
that.
Yeah, CDs out of the door flap.
Yeah.
I
can't-
You look very cool when you lock a car, don't you?
Yeah.
I think with the central locking. I still think I look cool doing that.
Well, I went to see. I'd say this when I went to see Skyfall. You know, when you go and see a film you really like, you come out walking a bit like that, like you're in it.
Yeah.
Maybe girls don't do this,
Well,
but
depends on the movie.
I think boys do it. Yeah, I've seen someone have walked like I'd been in it, but
50 Shades of Grey.
so I felt a bit. I felt a bit Bond-like. I could tell from my walk, and I got to my car, and it was like I had the gadget, I had the thing, and I clicked the car, and the lights came on. I could see the baby seat in the back.
That's interesting.
Doesn't happen in Bond.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I mentioned earlier that I did a gig in Belfast this week.
You did?
I had a few anxieties before doing it, and I'd like to... Are you picking at your magnets, Frank?
One of them's just come off. I mean, one of my magnets has fell off.
Oh, no. You okay?
I'm less attractive than I was.
Yeah, I'm finding it a bit distracting.
It's all right. I just don't want to I don't feel right about leaving it in here on the work
Are you
surface.
sure these magnets are going to work?
No, of course I'm not sure they're going to work.
Well, how much did it cost you for the
No,
magnets?
they did other stuff as well.
I don't wish to know about the other stuff.
I was physically manipulated.
You know this masseuse you went to?
Masseuse?
When you say they did other stuff...
No, they did, they got me to stretch and they rubbed my back. They used, what's that stuff that's hot?
Tea.
That's it.
Yeah.
They used... No,
DP.
High pro
wax?
Hydroplume. Hydroplume?
I don't know.
Hydroplume. Pro. This is actually a Robert Burns poem. No, we'll come back to it.
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a text from Steve, 647. Frank is right about coming out of the cinema feeling like you're in the film. Saw Fast and Furious years ago and got a speeding ticket on the way home. Also saw Legend a few weeks ago and had the urge to put on a suit and go and attack someone with a hammer in a pub.
No, but when we used to come out of kung fu films, like Kung Fu the Head Crusher, I remember us throwing ourselves about like that.
Yeah.
Deaf mute heroine, she does a backflip onto a first-storey balcony.
Don't try that at home.
Congratulations, well done. We've all got our talent.
Yeah.
Kevin Mitchell has tweeted us to set... Well, he's tweeted me specifically saying, tell Frank I'm at a fall gig right now in New Zealand. Any requests, he won't play them.
No, I know he won't.
And there's a picture of an empty stage. So I'm assuming there's been some technical difficulties.
Well, it'll be that moment before,
Yeah.
that moment before a gig.
Oh, yeah.
When they're about to... That's fantastic. It's one of the great moments in life.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at a gig and you think, any minute now.
When you say that, I've been to a fall gig with you.
Yes.
And he came on, we went Daisy, didn't we? And you summed it up, Frank. He just kept turning his back to the audience. It looked like he was doing the washing up, is how you described it.
Well, I wouldn't say he was that fussed about the audience.
No.
That's all right. I love him for that.
No, I'd sort of do as well. Kevin also says he asked for steak place and he doesn't look happy.
No, you won't get a request out of him.
Oh, really? We've also had an email entitled Kevin Beresford, which, as you may remember, is
it was
the
Kevin.
man...
It's a Kevin Fest. Was that
Kevin
Kevin at the
Fest, yeah.
fall gig? as well?
Yeah, Kevin.
The email's titled Kevin Beresford. Hi, Frank and the team. I'm an academic in the field of psychogeography, the aesthetics of urban space, and I thought you'd like to know that he is highly regarded in my own field, especially for the work he's done on roundabouts and car parks. I would go so far as to say is that he is an honorary psychogeographer, even though he may not describe himself that way. He's also highly entertaining. You should try and get him on your show.
I like the sound
We banned guests some time ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure about guests, especially not guests that spend their time taking photographs of post boxes in Wales and roundabouts and car parks. I feel like he'd be too much in my bit of the Venn diagram for what I bring to the show.
No man is a traffic island. I like the idea of psychogeography. That sounds interesting.
I do.
That's it. I'm going to dedicate my life to it. Oh, sad sort. I've been looking for something to dedicate my life to.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I need to talk to you about the Euromillions couple's dog who discovered a second lottery-winning ticket.
That thing.
Yeah, that thing. I mean, that is a good dog, innit? They'd left the ticket in the car full of clutter.
They won 150k.
Yeah, so they're pretty high, excited, like giddy, one might say.
Yeah, skittish.
Not the dog, the people. The people were.
Yes, because imagine 150 grand, ping.
Yeah.
You've got to pose with the giant check.
And then the dog gets in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow
jumps about a bit,
juggles at a book a bit.
Yeah,
catalogue,
and another ticket falls out with the same numbers on.
Because it turns out they buy the same numbers every week, and they hadn't communicated.
Is that
to
allowed
each other
then? Two people with the same name? I didn't know that was allowed.
What to do? What?
Well, buy these lottery tickets. I think it should be restricted to one per family.
Do you?
No.
Yes, you've got to spread the wealth.
Look,
you know the concept of a lottery. Have you? You know.
Yeah, funnily enough, it's not something I do.
Well, I don't
want to cock my leg up and hold a glass of champagne.
Okay.
No, but that's what they make you do.
No,
Why can't you just win it and go back to your life?
I'd do that for 300 grand.
I was disappointed, but I'd sort of got to like this couple at the beginning of the story, but at the end there was a picture of them squirting champagne the way people feel if you give them, they have to squirt it. And I think,
You say, I think we'll call it almost champagne.
Well, whatever it was, I'm sure so many people who can't afford it looked at that picture and thought, oh, I'd have loved a nice glass of champagne, but it's just gone on the grass. Awful. Why do people have to do that? Give them a bottle of champagne, say thank you very much. It's now Formula 1.
Yeah.
I've seen it now. I've seen the shaken champagne shooting out.
They do it in the nightclubs. The rappers do it, Frank.
Do they?
Do they?
They love it.
I used to work in nightclubs. I wouldn't enjoy.
You used to work in nightclubs?
What did you do?
Well, it's the feist I hate of it.
Barman, and I wouldn't have enjoyed having
escort.
I wouldn't have enjoyed mopping up after some.
What were the clubs like?
Ne'er-do-well rap stars spraying champagne all over the gaff.
They like a Courvoisier.
Pasta Courvoisier? Buster Rhymes? I saw him live, Buster Rhymes.
Well, you went through a rap period,
I
Frank.
did. I did go through quite a big rap period.
Lovely.
Yeah, but I don't like that. But it did make me think that maybe magic does exist.
Did
this
it?
Story. Well, it's a bit of a coincidence. Well, we'll delve.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
Come on, a dog finds a second lottery ticket. If this was medieval times, that dog would be publicly burned. You'd have to be suspicious that there was something going on.
You think so?
Well, isn't it a bit weird?
I thought the strangest thing was that they said they were looking forward to spending the money and they want to have some getaways with the dogs. Take your dogs on holiday.
Well,
Weirdos.
I think the dog could claim 75 grand minimum, having found the ticket.
Yeah, maybe even the
could be the next llama, that dog.
I think.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
That's the whole story.
No, I say YOLO.
Isn't the eccentric bit the fact that they get a lottery ticket and think, oh, where should we keep this? Should we put it under a magnet on the fridge door or in our wallet? Oh no, let's put it in a catalogue in the car. And then have the dogs jump about. Like, why would you do that?
Oh no, I just keep it under a magnet on my back.
Yeah.
No confusion there.
Come to think of it, are you going to use that scratch card later?
because they've had 2 wins, they actually got 2 big checks. Did you see that?
Did they?
They were standing with 2 big checks. They could have made a garage door out of them if they put them together.
They had to take 40 catalogues out of the car to fit it in the boot.
I mean, what you've got... I'm sorry to go on about this cheque thing, but if I was forced to do that, I'd say, OK, if you want your cheque photo, I will do it. But I will do it in 2 months from now when I've had the money and I can get myself sorted, as it were, in time for the photos.
Well, you don't want to see well-dressed people winning the lottery. That's what breaks people's hearts.
Au contraire. Those are the most seen photos of me. I want to look affluent and nice in them.
I know, but you want people to think, oh, that could have been, remember that? It could be you. I would use the double check to make a garage door. What do you think the local crime prevention officer would make of that as a choice? My lottery winner's door. still get crime prevention officers, Daisy?
Why are you looking at Daisy?
I'm just trying to... I'm so happy I could move that far in the chair without pain.
Oh.
No, I know. But you'll see, yes. So, yeah, I think the dog could possibly be in league with the devil.
Yeah.
Frank, I'm going down to the fat doctor soon. Do you want me to have a word?
No,
Heston.
Okay.
I can't.
Well,
I can't.
I'm going there in a few weeks.
Well, enjoy. Thank you.
sound like you
thank
meant
you
that.
for your loyalty. I'll tell you what this does. You know, I've always been a grand hater of people who say stuff. Oh, it's like that episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yes, you hate that.
But there is an
I say
episode...
fairly often. So.
There is an episode of The Simpsons when he decides to spend... He draws out the family savings because he decides if you had 70,000 lottery tickets, that would really increase your chances of winning.
Yeah.
And then he gets the same numbers on every one. And there's a terrible thing when after the big argument and all that, he goes into the room to listen to the lottery and you hear him obviously not winning, and you hear a number and he goes, "Dull!" And you hear another number and he goes, "Dull!" But best of all, after about 4 numbers, they read one out and he goes, "Yeah!" It was the human tragedy of hope. Hope in the face of hopelessness. Anyway, thank you so much for listening this morning. And, you know, if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.